This one thing will hold you back from the life that you want to live until you master it. This one thing is exactly what held me back from chasing my dreams and being who I wanted to be for a very long time. You see, this is something that most of us look directly over. In fact, most of us, our society conditions us to use this to the least of our ability to, most of the time. Right? We were conditioned to believe this isn't the magic that it is. Right? What we're going to talk about. But the truth is, the reality is that it's this simple understanding of the way we work in cohesion with this principle, with this idea, that that gives us the ability to chase whatever we wanted to chase. What I'm talking about is concentration. Our ability to concentrate for any set given period of time for any one task is what will determine our outcome, our results, how much of what we achieve to be true. Like, are we going to achieve what we actually want to achieve? Or are we going to lose concentration and fall short and give up and find something else to concentrate on at that time? If you're like me, or most other people nowadays, you've experienced this before. Or maybe you found some concentration at one point. You found something that really caught your attention, that you really wanted to pursue in some way, shape, or form. It might have been working out. It might have been a job that you really enjoyed. It might have been, I don't know, a relationship, right? A good book, or, chasing a high level on a video game, right? It might have been any of these things, but something happened. Something happened and knocked you off your path. Right? It wasn't the easiest path. You struggled at some point and you fell short. Well, without a developed attention and without developed willpower, you probably fell out of it. You probably fell out of whatever it was that you were trying so hard to accomplish, and you began to concentrate on something else entirely. Does that sound familiar? Trust me, I've been there. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to give up, even though something meant so much to you at one point. And trust me, that's not a good feeling. I know you've probably felt it before as well. So I want to point out the fact that concentration is one of the biggest determining factors in our life of what we do. Are you going to be concentrated on many different things at once and never make progress? Or are you going to be concentrated on the right things that make sense for your life? And are you going to be concentrated enough to continue to develop your own expertise in those areas in order to continue down the path that brings you more fulfillment, that brings you to the destination that you're wanting to be at? You see, it's not that complicated, guys. But that's the thing, we like to complicate it, right? We have this natural human tendency to look elsewhere, to look outside of what we're doing. We want to look around and see if there's another option, if there's something else that makes more sense somehow, right? When in the beginning, when we found something that was really worth our attention, that we know we wanted to pursue, we concentrated on it. We knew that's what we wanted. But as things get boring and they're not as stimulating, as all things do at some point, right? When you continue down that path and you continue to build that muscle of going into the unknown, or going into the what you've done so consistently already. As you go into that, you may find some boredom. You may find a lack of motivation to continue on because it's boring, because it's mundane. There's a great book called Master the Mundane. It's exactly what we're talking about. Part of exactly what we're talking about is focusing on those little things that move the needle forward, but they don't feel like they move the needle forward as much as some of the things that are more bright and shiny do. Right? I believe that's a major part of the issue here, is that so many of us, loud floor here, so many of us lose concentration on what it is that we really want to have in our life, simply because we lack concentration, simply because our concentration muscle is underdeveloped. We're in a society that is constantly feeding off our attention. Everything wants your attention, right? And capitalism is amazing. We can all have our own businesses and create our own empires, right? But here's the thing. You must be determining of what your concentration will be on. You must choose what you're going to focus on. You must choose to have the right concepts that really serve your life. Because here's the thing, here's what will happen if you don't. You'll wake up one day and you're 50, 40, 50, or 60, and you've been a slave to everybody else your entire life. You've been a slave to the alcohol, you've been a slave to the television. You've been a slave to whatever it may be for you that's not actually serving you in any way, but it brings you some sort of entertainment or pleasure. We must be focused on the right things. We must have the right sense of self that allows us to concentrate enough to make something happen. To make sure it isn't just us at the end of the day chasing our own tail of pleasure and entertainment. You see, it's up to us to make this difference. But how many of us will? How many of us actually will make that difference and do something with their life? Sadly, not many. But man, you know what? I'm here to make a difference in that. I'm going to make sure more people see that truth, see that level of fulfillment they can have in their life. That's a part of my mission. I'm going to make sure I do that. I'll spend the rest of my life doing this. Because I know what it feels like to, like I said earlier, give up, to not concentrate, to fail, to fall short, to have everybody in the world who has never done any of the things that you actually want to do give you advice and tell you to give up. You got to push through all that, man. You got to keep that concentration strong. You got to have that clear mental picture. You develop it over time, of course, but you got to have that vision that is bigger than yourself, that is bigger than your followers' vision. Your vision must be so big, I heard this said one time, that your vision must be so big that it fits your followers' visions inside of it. That's how large it must be as a leader. And you see, that's what we're always working on, self-leadership. Self-leadership begins with concentration, being able to concentrate on what it is that is truthful, that is rightful to your life, that is rightful to your cause, your purpose, your mission. Concentrate your efforts, concentrate your willpower, and move down the path effectively. Don't get caught and distracted, and stay on distraction. Give space to negative emotions, give space to negative situations that don't deserve you. At the end of the day, all you have is yourself. And yourself and your family. More than anything, yourself. Because, you could have the family, but if you don't have yourself, you don't really have the family. Let me know if you know what I mean there. A lot of people out there that have families, but they don't have themselves. So, family doesn't mean much to them. Guys, concentrate that willpower. Concentrate those efforts. Build the muscle. Take time. Eliminate those distractions that are keeping you from concentrating on what it is that's truly important. I began to erase social media from my life. I erased video games from my life. I don't play video games at all anymore. I grew up playing video games. I don't play them at all anymore because I don't have the time to. It's not something that I want to keep in my mind. I can pick up the controller and play for 30 minutes and then I'm wondering what I'm doing because I know that my mind's absorbing this crap that isn't even real. And I got a lot to do, right? Thankfully, gratefully, happily. All right? Same thing with television. I may watch one show with my wife, and that the show matters. I don't want to watch some crap that's going to bring some silliness into my concentration. All right? That's just me. You don't have to be as extreme as that, but guys, my real point here is be concentrated, work on your efforts, work on who it is that you want to be, and know it, move towards it, and be it. You got this, guys. Have an amazing day. Let's go.